So quickly, just the spec on this car. It's obviously an early VVC. You can tell that by the wheels. It's got the front fog lamps and it is finished in charcoal grey. That's about it. The interesting thing about the MGF is the backstory to it all. It was a bit of a revival of the MG brand, rather. They started out with a concept that was basically just a Metro with its engine behind the seats. That caused all sorts of problems. I mean, but the fundamental design really took off, and they ran with it for a number of years. The MX-5 obviously came out in the meantime. The MGF came out in '96, and they had worked it into a proper sports car. Now, part of it was enlarging the 1.4K series to the 1.8. They did this by boring it out. And it's very clever, actually. They have a dry liner at the top and a wet liner cylinder at the bottom, all very fancy. And for the higher performance models like this one, the VVC, they've got this crazy variable valve control, they call it, head, with what you might consider 5 camshafts, but it's even more complicated than that. Simple fact is that you get a linear torque band, but you still have zing and power at the top. The other thing is the Hydragas suspension system, which is really small. I mean, the units are yay big. There's air at the top, liquid at the bottom, and they're all interlinked all around the car. So there is a bit of control. If you pitch it into a corner, it levels itself out, kind of thing. It's very interesting. The other benefit is that because they're shorter than your standard coil and damper unit, you can set the whole car lower, and that's one of the reasons why the car looks so low and tidy and kind of fresh. It's got its own look to it. On the MGF, they also added dampers and anti-roll bars as well to give that extra level bit of control. So overall, it's quite a advanced setup, really, much more advanced than the MX-5, which is obviously front-engined and coil and spring all round. It's very traditional. Admittedly, that works better. But the MGF as a study of engineering ingenuity, I think is quite a fascinating little car, to be honest. Not only that, does it look unique as well, and it's a bit of British sports car history. And how can you argue with that?